Hey, film fans, we're the MerCo Movie Gals.
We're here tonight filling in for the guys.
I'm Susie, this is Emily, and this is Kayla, and we're going to talk to you tonight about chick flicks.
So grab your popcorn.
Fill up your drinks.
And enjoy the show.
All right, so the guys invited us here tonight with the topic of picking our top 5 chick flicks. And with the thought of chick flicks, I think we had different categories come to mind. So couldn't pick just one set of chick flicks.
No.
So like
Right.
rom-coms, all the different types. So we might have a lot of variation in our list tonight of
I
what
think
is
so.
considered a chick flick.
Yeah, I certainly have a lot to say on the topic. I do, in fact, have a 7-page thesis in front of me on what the genre is and why it maybe isn't just one genre. I think when we were originally given the assignment of rom-coms, I was kind of like, ugh, right? It feels cheesy and
Cliche.
Cliche,
Right.
right? And maybe I was fancying myself a little bit of a movie snob. But I was just in denial. I love them because
do
the
too.
longer I sat and thought
Yes.
about it, the more I was like, wait a minute. I can't. How am I going to pick 5?
I
That's
know.
crazy.
I know.
didn't.
I had that issue too because my thought was like, are we talking about like rom-coms? Are we talking about girl empowerment movies? Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking
like
about?
romantic
So
dramas.
I think most of mine are rom-coms though, and my thought was kind of, it's February, it's close to Valentine's Day, like why not? So
Yeah, I think when I was really thinking about it initially, the way that I kind of started separating it all out was by era more than anything, right? When I think about them, there's certainly a couple different eras in my mind, and you can't really put things from different eras up against one another.
I know, it's so hard.
It came
That's
to
true.
me as like ultimately kind of a Judd Apatow era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus a John Hughes era. And I felt like I had to pick one of them because I'm not going to put, The Breakfast Club up against Knocked Up. That's weird.
I love
right?
Knocked
or
Up
seems
and The
weird.
I
Breakfast
didn't
Club.
even put Knocked Up on my list,
So-
and now I'm
Oh,
mad.
man.
my thing, the way I kind of evaluated it is movies that Jimmy won't watch with me.
Okay.
Category.
And movies that I will watch over and over and over and over again. Like, that I know by heart, but if they're on, I'm still going to watch them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my list went to. So
Yeah. Kayla?
I did kind of the same thing. I went movies that I will watch over and over and over again. I
Mm-hmm.
won't mention them now, but I'll get to them. I went more romance.
Mm-hmm.
I went a women empowerment. And then just kind of like a cult classic,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So do we want to start with number 5 on each of our lists?
5,
and
I
see-
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of put what category we think that falls into as well. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Em, with your thesis, do you want to start with
Yes.
your number
Please,
5?
Your
if
number
you'll-
5?
If you'll hold number 5 is actually on page 5.
Oh, no.
I do have legitimately 7 pages of notes on this
Oh my
on this
gosh.
situation in front of me.
I have a 1 page that I just flipped over to try to rank these movies.
I typed mine.
So,
yeah.
You're very prepared.
I know.
So I'm going to preface all of my choices by saying I had said earlier it was kind of Apatow v. Hughes in my brain. I picked the Apatow era for all of my top 5. They're not all technically Judd Apatow, right? But it's a vibe. It's a Judd Apatow
is.
vibe. I think. You'll
Yeah,
get
I
it.
love Judd Apatow.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
It was pretty defining in my young adulthood. I can't say that I watch new rom-coms now, so I had to go back to a time when they felt like they were more defining in my life. Anyway,
Well, and
number
I think
5.
that's going to be the difference too. Is we're all, I'm significantly older than you guys, so I feel like
significantly.
yeah,
Well,
I mean, you
yeah.
know, 40, almost 48. So
I wasn't gonna make you say it on camera.
I don't care. I don't care. Close to 50, whatever.
Same.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna cut to the chase. Number 5 for me came in at it was Easy A. Easy A had to make it somewhere into
Good movie.
the top 5 for me. It's not higher ranking because it isn't actually a Judd Apatow film. this movie came out in 2010. So for the record, in 2010, I was like,
Shut up.
I don't know. I was like 12, so I'm not going to confidently say that I was watching this when I was 12. But this one had to be in the top 5 for me. Emma Stone and Penn Badgley, I think, stand out, and it fits so perfectly into my kind of Judd Apatow era theme.
Yep.
In that, which I think they all kind of have this same thing going on of like, for me, it felt like these movies were the first time that rom-coms were a little bit more real.
Yeah.
Everything wasn't so sugary sweet and felt like kind of unattainable. I mean, when I watched Easy A, it felt like my real life. You know, the things that were happening.
Yep, I get that.
You know, just where they were at felt like where I was at the time, and I resonated with the characters and the storyline. So it had to. Plus, I think Emma Stone is hilarious. So
she's awesome. I
gotta
love
go
Emma
for
Stone. Yeah.
I put Easy A way higher up on my list.
You did.
Yeah, but I was split between Easy A and Mean Girls for like the go-to quintessential, like that's a chick flick, I think. Like it is funny, but it's all, like it is a rom-com, but I don't think it is in my mind. I don't know. But you said it came out in 2010. That would have been, I was a freshman in college, I think.
I was like
everybody out there, do the math. I was way older than that in 2010.
It was just it was one that, you know, like it's that movie when it's on, I will always watch it.
Always.
But I couldn't split it between Mean Girls.
So
because I needed it to be there somewhere. So I'm cheating and I put 2 for 2.
You're okay.
That is cheating.
I'll do what I want. Yeah. And I couldn't narrow it down.
We are going to have to make some of our own rules here because this was incredibly
takeover.
difficult. I mean,
plus
it's
super
a
hard.
takeover.
I have 10 honorable mentions. I don't know if we'll get to all of them, but like
I have some
10.
honorable mentions, but
what's your number 5?
What's your
what
5,
came in at 5 for you?
So my number 5, I went with the typical, like, what you think of as a chick flick. Like, guys don't want to watch that. And I also did a slash on that one. So I really like Me Before You.
I don't think I've ever seen
I
it.
haven't seen that.
I think it was a book first, then a movie. I think that's how that goes.
Who's in it?
I don't know. The guys in the
guys
chair.
in the
and
chair?
it made the
We'll
top
look it
5
up for us. Me Before You is he's sick. It's that sad type of story. But I couldn't split that between The Notebook.
Oh.
So The Notebook is like that is your go-to, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
don't disqualify
there's another
me.
similar movie that you might think of with that too. But
Don't disqualify me from this podcast, but I hate The Notebook.
Oh.
I hate it.
I love the story.
I hate it.
Love.
And this is why, though, because
I think there was also a book too, though.
It was.
It's Nicholas
It's
Sparks.
Nicholas
Yeah,
Sparks,
of
yeah.
course. It always
I
is.
love James Garner, and then they killed him at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, and it made me really mad.
Oh, Amelia Clark from Game of Thrones.
Is it me and
Before
you?
You?
Me Before You.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I already kind of think that
He's like sick and it came out in 2016.
Okay.
He's like sick and she's the caretaker and like falls in love with him.
is it kind of sad?
Yeah.
See, I think
heart-wrenching, kind of like The Notebook.
I think we're already kind of seeing maybe the difference in how we interpreted all
Sam
of this.
Cleffin? I don't know who that is.
No.
It doesn't ring a bell with me.
Are all of yours kind of sad like that?
No, that was the only one. So that's why I put it number 5 is at the end.
Okay.
So that was my number 5.
I think we're gonna have 2 very different lists. I think
I know.
we have interpreted
Yeah.
this whole thing
Well, I do
incredibly
too.
love
differently.
story, like that's what I think of as a chick flick is like grab your ice cream, cry, and your
Sure.
wine.
Oh man!
Like
yeah.
I went the stereotypical.
I went full
Yeah.
blown comedy. Like
the rest are not.
if I'm not
Yeah,
lolling,
all.
count me out.
I know.
Especially at this point in my life, no, I can't.
That's why I
once
like
spend
the
2 hours
rom-coms.
sitting around getting sad. Takes me like 3
I know.
days to recover from
I know.
that. I can't.
That's why I put it last. I had to mention them because
Okay.
Yeah,
we would get torn apart if we don't.
I know, but but
That's why Easy A and Mean Girls are number 2 on my list.
Do you see why? That's kind of why it was easier for me to break it into
Categories.
time
Categories,
frames, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
because they all seem so different to me. Like I'm not going
can't
to sit
narrow
down.
it down.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna sit
it's
down
really
in the
hard.
same
I would have
day.
had a whole different list had I not like
Thought too much about chick
decided
flicks.
just movies
Yeah.
that Jimmy won't watch with me.
Yeah,
Like,
you had to pick kind of a set of your
Yeah.
own
What
parameters.
is a chick flick? Is the
Yeah,
the
that's
thesis
the- that's
we
the
need to
big
figure
thing.
out today.
Yeah.
so my number 5 is The Proposal.
Oh yeah.
because I love Ryan Reynolds and I love Sandra Bullock and
Yeah.
I love Betty White and I just love that whole
Yeah.
movie. It is hilarious and it's wonderful and yeah,
It was unexpected
you get
too.
to see Ryan Reynolds naked. So
Yeah.
I mean,
win.
That's
a
worthy.
win-win.
That's worthy of top 5 for sure.
yeah,
I didn't even put that on my list, and I'm very sad that I didn't
yeah,
think
it's
about
so
it.
good.
Well, it's so easy that I ended up spending some serious time with the Google machine because I'm like, okay, I have 15.
There's so many.
I have 15
There
that come
are.
to the forefront immediately. I'm like, there's just no way that's enough, right?
There's so
I'm
many.
missing so many,
yeah.
and so this was quite a rabbit hole for me at the end of the day. And it's kind of feeling like I'm falling back down into it.
I'm gonna.
right
I
now.
know. I want to revise my list already. That
Yeah,
I just
I'm-
completed 5
Well,
minutes
I'm
ago.
not allowed to touch mine.
No, don't touch it.
At hour 6, I must stop, and there is no revisions at this point.
Did
It
you
is
have
what
the
it is.
proposal on your list anywhere?
No, it didn't
I'm
even
sad
make
it
an
didn't-
honorable mention.
I know. I didn't
know,
have
it's
it.
But I
so
love
good.
it.
It's so good.
I
So
could
sad.
have.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love
I'm
it.
so sad about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants
Okay.
to go next for
So we got
4?
our number 5s in, right?
Yeah.
Number 5. What's
number
the
4?
So number 4, I went Cruel Intentions.
Oh my love that movie.
Just because, and
Yeah.
I hate putting it that low because again, it's one of those movies
That is
that
It's a
I
great movie.
choice.
will absolutely watch. If it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
Yes.
So,
Well, in that cast, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
but again,
right.
like, is that a
Kidding me.
chick flick? Is that like I don't?
I
it's
I
just
don't
a-
feel like that's necessarily a chick
I
flick.
don't know.
So is
mean,
but I had to
maybe.
put it in there because it kept popping up, and
I had a list of honorable mentions that were just romantic dramedies.
yeah, it was a dramedy.
Because what I decided had to be happening for anything to be considered romantic, right? There had to be like an element of will they, won't they? Because I think if you look at all of these, at least my top 5
For
for
sure.
sure, the
You're
whole
right.
conflict is: are they going to, or are they going? Are they
Yeah.
not going to? Whatever
Yeah.
it may be,
Sure.
get married, stay together, break up,
Yep.
whatever. And that was kind of, I took a top-down approach. I started from there, and I think you definitely have that in Cruel Intentions.
For sure.
So it fits for me.
it has to be, but it's just
Yeah.
like it didn't at first. I didn't think about it. So, and I
Yeah.
have some honorable mentions that kind of fit into that category, but I don't want
Yeah,
to touch on them because
same.
we'll rabbit hole right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
had to put Cruel Intentions in there just because I think that's one of those that has like a lasting, like it's one of those movies that you're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, what did I just watch?
Yeah, well, and the first time
Agreed.
you see it, you're like, oh, that was fun because it was salacious and everyone's really
Yeah.
hot.
Scandalous,
and
yeah.
it's
For sure.
scandalous,
For
and
sure. Yeah.
there is
The prep school, like
Yeah.
boarding school type vibe that always is so romanticized. I think
for sure.
don't
Well,
know.
I think
do we all want to be shipped off to boarding school? I don't
kind
know.
of maybe, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
At least
Maybe.
what's his name?
Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah,
Felipe,
I want to be
Felipe,
shipped off
Ryan
if it means
Felipe.
I get to be shipped off with him. I think, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Well, and
How-
didn't
how you
him
say
and Reese
no?
Witherspoon, speaking of the Notebook, him
They
and
got
Reese
married.
Witherspoon, they had a kid.
yeah,
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
just
Should
like
be
her, by the
illegal
way.
because they're too beautiful to have children. I
They have
don't know.
two
seen
kids,
I
don't
mean,
they?
she's like
Oh.
a grown woman now.
Oh yeah.
And she is beautiful,
Beautiful,
and she
yeah.
looks just like Reese Witherspoon,
Yes.
She
which
does.
is unfair in the world, but good
Yeah.
for her.
Yep.
Okay, my
What's your number 4?
Number 4. This is again not actually a Judd Apatow flick, but it's a vibe, right? It's a vibe. It follows my vibe. My number
There's
4.
not been one Judd Apatow.
No, there's actually in my
It's
top
Ask.
in my top 5. There's only 2 Judd Apatow
that's
movies,
funny.
but I'm calling the category
I love
Judd
most of them.
Apatow-esque.
I got you.
So number 4 for me is Wanderlust. You guys ever Paul Rudd and Jen Aniston?
I've not seen that.
I'm
Oh
mad
my
at
gosh.
myself.
I do love
Um,
Paul Rudd, and
oh,
I love Jennifer Aniston.
it is-
But no, I have not
I
seen
want to
that.
do the part, and I can't.
I know.
For-
When he's in the mirror?
Yes.
Yes. I know. I have a note. I have a bullet point. I have a bullet point.
Go get that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm going to
stopped
save
myself.
myself the embarrassment and Clint the edit.
My friend Ashley and I will quote
yes.
this until we die.
That I think
Shout out to Ashley.
I think that's also kind of a defining characteristic for this Judd Apatow-esque thing
Yeah.
that I have
Yeah,
going
I
on
agree.
is with every single one of my top 5, there's at least 10 moments where I compulsively
Yes.
repeat
The
these
quotability
like standout
Yes.
lines
Yes.
in my mind.
becomes
And
a part of your personality.
Yeah, I think it adds to a level of the like undeniability of
Yes. Yep.
something being funny or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. So Wanderlust had to be up there for me because Paul Rudd actually makes me laugh out loud multiple
Oh,
times
I love
in that
him.
movie.
Love him. I want to
And
be friends with him, but also
Same.
I would marry him.
Yeah,
probably.
it's definitely a fine
Does
line.
Chad
Like,
know?
maybe.
But
Backup
I guess,
person.
should I recap it for people who maybe don't know what it is?
Yeah, I've never seen it, so.
Oh, you
I
haven't?
cannot believe I did
Oh,
not
man.
have that on my list. I'm so sad about it.
It's Paul Rudd and Jen Aniston, and
Okay.
they're married.
Okay.
They live in a little tiny, like, crappy apartment in New York, and one of them gets fired, and it kind of sends their whole world into a tailspin. So
he
they
might
have.
not have had a job. Yeah, he didn't. He was looking, and she got fired.
Yeah,
and
there
whatever.
was some sort of hardship that essentially, changes their life. And they give in to what I think everybody kind of thinks about sometime. Like, what if we just said, bye, I'm going to go live on a commune and grow zucchini and, like, hang out with my buddies.
I'll just
and
tend to the chickens all day.
Yeah, that's what they do. It doesn't work out super well for them.
Gotcha.
But along the way, it's hilarious.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil
I'll have to
anything.
check
You
it out.
need to watch
Oh
it.
my
I
gosh.
will.
Put it on your list to go home
I
and
will.
watch tonight.
I will. I don't
if
have a
anybody
pen.
else, I will watch anything with Paul Rudd in it.
Yeah, it's
Same.
genuinely
And Jennifer
hilarious.
Aniston. So
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
Yeah.
So my number 4 is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Because
For sure.
it had to make the list.
wonderful, and I can quote the whole thing. I love Heath Ledger. I love Julia Stiles. Like, I
R.I.P.
love
Heath
the
Ledger.
entire. It's so angsty
Oh yeah.
and
Like Cruel Intentions. It's
Yeah.
kind of that
Yes,
same like,
but a little
scratches
lighter.
that same
a
itch.
little bit lighter
For
than
sure. Yeah, a
Cruel
little less
Intentions.
like
It's not as
less malintent.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little malintent, but not.
But in, like, a high
that
school way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I love 10 Things I Hate About You. It's just so good.
Yeah.
I had that
Agreed.
down,
Just
but I just
so
didn't know
good.
where to put it.
I
So-
know.
Yeah.
And then, so many other ones that fit into
Yeah.
that same category.
Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't want to say any because I don't know if you guys might have them on here, but like the 10 Things I Hate About You, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, that's on mine, yep.
Like all of those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of that was kind
It's
of like
that's
another
a genre.
era.
It's on
Yeah.
its own category.
well,
Yeah.
and
So-
that was kind of like my Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah,
it came out
Oh,
in 99.
cutie
Is that what
yeah,
you're
it was
saying?
99.
I do
Yeah.
love him.
Yeah. I didn't
I
realize
had it
that
on
they
my
were going to
list,
write our
but-
list down. That's
Yeah, we're
awesome.
keeping track. So I had that on my list, but I just didn't know where to put it.
Yeah.
At my
Well,
whole
it's a-
page, I couldn't.
Yeah.
The best scene in that, though, don't you think, is when Heath Ledger is on the bleachers, like, singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
my favorite part.
I think any scene that has him in it, especially now that we don't,
my
we
that
God.
don't
he's
get-
gone.
right? We
Yeah.
don't get more of them, so it's like, no, that's
The
it.
only
my
thing I
heart.
don't like about it, so there was the guy that played the nerdy guy.
The guys in the
Chad,
chair might get it.
Guys in the chair. The
Jamie?
nerdy guy that was friends with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Was it like Freddie Prinze Jr.?
No. He wasn't in that.
He's gotta be in one of these movies. I know he is.
The problem is with him, this guy that played that guy, every time I see him, so he was on ER, and I'm probably, and he stabbed,
So he's a bad guy
he
in your
stabbed Noah Wiley in ER, so I hate him.
David Krumholtz.
Yes, David Krumholtz, but I always call him Paul
Translation.
Sobricky because that was his character on ER.
And
He
he's
was
forever
on-
bad in your
He
mind.
was on 2 episodes. Yes, and so I don't like him
Yeah, there's no
because
mind.
he
It's hard.
yeah, but besides that,
When
like
people get typecast like that. You know?
Yeah.
but
Well,
he didn't
You
really
can't
get
see him as
typecast.
like a
like
bad guy.
Sometimes you just can't unsee certain things out
Right.
of certain people, right?
Right.
I felt pretty comfortable not putting that in my top 5, despite my better judgment, because I knew that one of you was going to do it too.
I was banking on somebody putting
It
it.
was-
There. I have it written down.
I almost
Yeah.
didn't put it in there, but then I'm like, man, no, because if it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
yeah.
You know, and
yeah.
3.
3. Kayla, what do you got coming in
Kayla?
at number 3?
So, 27 Dresses.
Oh my gosh.
I love that movie.
I went with 27 Dresses just because I was the last of my friends to get married, and I was on like that countdown.
Relatable.
Sorry, Susie. I thought about you. I was writing this.
I mean,
but-
we're fine.
She doesn't want to get married. Don't do it. Anyways.
Well, I did it once. That didn't work out real well.
That was enough for you.
But just the,
Once-
you know,
once
always the bridesmaid, never the bride type thing.
Yeah.
You have to put that in a chick flick.
Well, and I love
Yeah.
that she has all her dresses.
Yes.
Like
Well,
she just
yeah.
keeps
because
all of her
what do you
dresses.
do? You keep them even if they're horrid. Like,
I have
it's-
some in my well, I only have one, but I'm like, what am I going to throw it away? I paid for it.
yeah.
Well, so
Bring
when
it to the JC Gala.
when I got divorced, I left all
a
of
bad
those
link.
in my sister's house.
Merry Christmas.
And eventually she got rid of them.
Dressed
No,
up
at least
in
you didn't
'em.
have to do it
Oh,
yourself.
Yeah,
it is,
James
Katherine
Marsden,
Heigl.
Katherine Heigl.
Well, and I think Katherine Heigl was also
Oh,
like when I
I
think of
love
a chick
her.
flick or a rom com.
Yes, she's in it.
She makes an appearance in a movie in
Yeah.
my top 5, and she is kind
I
of
love her.
quintessential in
Yeah.
this whole genre.
And it's
Yeah.
also like being that friend and going through
Yeah.
like you're just there no matter what. You're the bridesmaid. You know, she's
Right.
got the poofy sleeves.
She does everything for
Yeah.
everybody.
Do whatever you
Yeah.
need, and we can all relate to that.
And her
right?
sister's
Yeah.
really ungrateful, you know.
Everybody has a sister.
I have a brother, so
But I love my sister. She's not ungrateful. I'm probably the ungrateful one. But
So I had to put that one in there
For
just
sure.
because
yeah,
I think it hits everybody's been a bridesmaid
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
whatever,
right.
touches everybody, has to be on the chick flick list.
Yeah,
I agree. I love that one.
Yeah.
you
it
want to
was
do number
tough.
3? You want me to do number
Sure,
3?
I'll go. Number 3 is He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great movie. I feel like I've been every one of those women in
Yeah.
that movie, like at different points in my life.
It's cult classic for a reason, right? It's one of the ones when someone asks you the question,
Mhm.
Yes.
and you give a response without even instinctually,
Yeah.
that's one of them for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, and it's not necessarily, I mean, it's funny, but it's
Yeah.
not necessarily always funny. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing isn't funny. It's just kind of real life. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Truth.
Can I get a reminder on the cast of that?
So Bradley Cooper, Justin Long,
Oh, Justin Long.
he's so
such a
cute.
sweet
The guy in the
dork.
chair.
Jennifer Goodwin,
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore,
Yeah, I love a stacked
Chris
cast like that.
Connolly,
You just
Jennifer
can't not.
Connolly.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Is she in there? Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck.
And it's that.
Yeah.
I think I asked Chad earlier.
I
I was
love
like,
that
"What's that movie where like they make the bet of like trying to like they're gonna make the ugly girl like the prom queen?"
Oh,
Yeah.
she's all
I'm like,
that.
it's that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of that.
She's all that.
Is that Amanda Bynes?
It's no.
What's the one with
Oh.
Amanda Bynes? You should know
Is it the
this.
soccer one? No.
Yeah, maybe, right? She-
About the man.
She pretends to be a
Yeah.
boy
Yeah.
to play soccer.
What is the name of
Is
that?
that not She's All That?
She's the man.
No.
I think it's
She's
the
the
man.
man.
She's
She-
all that. No.
She's all that is Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, she's all that is Freddie
Okay.
Prinze Jr.
Okay,
and
there
he's
it
like,
is.
"Oh, I'm gonna make my like dorky next door neighbor like hot," and all they do is take off her glasses.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
Superman type thing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like that.
Scarlett Johansson. I forgot.
Oh, Scarlett
I
Jo.
forgot Black Widow is in He's Just Not That Into You.
Yeah. So like
Yeah, she's
I could have
beautiful.
made a top 5 for like that kind of category, like the cult
Yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
Those.
But
Yeah.
again,
So
I think
it-
we would have had differences in that
Still,
because
yeah.
of
Yeah.
our ages. There's
Totally.
different cult classics for
I'm a-
different
Still,
genre
we've all
for
seen
different.
that movie, even though
Yeah,
there's,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we're of
Yeah. What year did that come out? Guys in the Chair, 2009.
2009.
it's the year I graduated.
That actually kind of falls in my sweet spot for
It's
my
the year
top
after
5.
I got divorced.
yeah.
Oh,
Chick flick
Not
and
a
hard.
You
sweet-
graduated. I got divorced.
not a sweet
Emily
spot for
was
you.
11.
Yeah, 2009 I was 11. But
different phases.
what's funny is my top 5 all fall
Relates to
between
everybody.
2007. Wait, let me reference my notes. 2007 and 2012, which I was 11.
Okay.
That was when I was 11 through 16. I don't think I was
My honorable
actually
mention was 13. That movie.
13.
Did you ever watch the movie 13?
Oh, is it
13 going on 30. 13.
Well, that's on there. 13 going on 30. But the
13.
actual movie 13,
no.
What's it about?
just two
Sound-
young girls growing up. Rough.
Oh.
You never watched 13? I think we
I
had
don't
different
think so.
upbringings.
No, I try to steer clear of rough just
Well,
in general, I
it
think.
was like the girls
tough for me.
bonded. It was like friendship.
What
but
was rough?
also
Like Crossroads,
they
Britney
were,
Spears.
piercing their tongues and like
Oh,
getting into like
That's not that rough.
That's not
bad
that bad.
recreational activities.
Oh.
Okay.
That kind.
Heard. Yeah.
But it was a pivotal movie.
Wait,
For you.
Just called 13 and the cover they're going,
who's in it?
I think Chad's working on it.
Okay.
Guy in the chair.
Well, while we're waiting,
I
on
know you
that-
know the cover. If you saw it, you'd know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, is Evan Rachel Wood in that? Okay. Okay.
yes, it's a
What's
very
your number 3?
So my number 3, and this I struggle with the placement of, because for me I could have easily convinced myself to have this be number 1. I didn't, but my number 3 is Juno.
Oh, that was. I took
see?
it off my honorable mention, but yes,
And
yes,
I feel
yes.
like Juno fits in with like Easy A, Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's that
I agree.
era.
That era. So I could have done a top 5 all in those.
Yeah.
So
Same.
I'm
And-
mad
Same.
that Juno wasn't part of my slash.
Well, and-
originally,
Easy A.
it was on mine.
Well, and
Soundtrack's awesome.
I literally have a note that says the music is
Yes.
objectively amazing
It's
in this
so-
movie.
I can just
amazing.
listen to the soundtrack.
I had it on CD.
I do
I didn't
too.
even have a car, or I mean, Juno came out in 2007,
Yeah,
and I had a CD
I barely wait.
in
Have you
2007.
seen Juno,
I would
right?
have been. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was
I
just
would've-
trying to think where I was in 2007.
I would have been in middle school.
I would have
And this
been
is a
just
movie,
driving.
I guess, for anyone who hasn't seen it. Juno's a movie about a pregnant teenager. It's Ellen
Yeah.
Page and Michael Cera. And
Elliot Page now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I apologize.
But at
Elliot
the
Page
time,
now at the
at the
time.
time,
Yeah. True. You're.
Jason Bateman's in it, and he's a creep.
Jason Bateman.
But I love Jason Bateman.
I
so,
know.
Oh.
Isn't it hard?
so it's okay for him to be a creep,
Well,
I guess.
it's
But
like you go on such a journey through that movie.
It is.
I should preface by saying I have probably seen this movie
I love it.
250 times.
Another stack cast as well.
And-
though.
Yeah, J.K.
Humong-
Simmons is her dad. It's
Allison Janney is the stepmom,
Yes,
and
Yes.
she's hilarious.
she is just. I
Just
mean,
stack
she doesn't have
cast
a
again.
ton of lines
She's
in the
a nail
movie.
tech.
She's a nail tech. She Ellen Page makes a joke about the methyl methacrylate and like their house smelling like a nail salon. There was a sharp wit
Michael
to the.
Cera is also
Oh
just my favorite
He's
little sweetie.
adorable.
I love him.
Him as a
J.K.
leading
Simmons-
man
I
is
just
funny. I
can't.
think.
Rainn Wilson's
Rainn
in that
Wilson's
movie?
in it? Who is he?
Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson's the guy
Oh,
from
he-
The Office.
He
but
was,
I don't know who he is in
He
Juno.
worked at the convenience store.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's.
I didn't
when
even
she
realize
goes in and
that.
buys.
So that's how stacked that movie is.
Oh
my
that
God.
Rainn Wilson's in there, and we can't even
and he's an
remember where he's at.
afterthought. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh
Wow.
God, that
Yeah.
movie is so good.
I think-
Yes,
I'm mad.
I love it.
saw Juno. I didn't write Juno down, and I'm mad about it.
I
Oh.
had it originally.
I had the
written down.
DVD. I mean, I had the DVD.
Oh,
I
I
had
do
the
too.
soundtrack on CD. I mean, I watched it compulsively because
I love it.
it felt. I was certainly not watching that movie in 2007 when it came out, because,
not.
like I said, I was in middle school. I watched it at a more appropriate age, but I watched it at an age where you had a fear of yourself ending up in a scenario like Ellen Page and Michael Cera found themselves in, and it was such a funny look
I'm
at
married in
what it
33, and I'm
was.
so scared of that.
Yeah, right. Pushing 30, still terrified, but I don't know. I think it was funny and it was cutting, but then it
Yes.
was also
Sweet.
it was sweet and it was sad, and then the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as close as I get to, like, let's sit here and cry about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But it's a good cry.
But it's a good
It all
cry.
ends up
Yeah, it is,
okay, and I
yeah.
think that's what's reassuring about it, right?
Yeah.
That's the message.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what gets you through some of the
That's what you need out of a
uncomfy-
chick flick.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's definitely true.
One of my favorite parts in that is where she accuses him talking to somebody else.
she smells like
And
soup.
she goes, he's like, I don't even talk. She smells like soup.
Yeah.
And he's
smells
like,
like soup.
And then he goes, she says something about,
He's
she
taking
always
it-
giving me dirty looks. And he's like, that's just how her face looks.
She
Like,
always
I
giving
say
me the
that all the
stink
time.
eye.
Looks.
He was taking
Again,
it to
the
the prom.
prom.
Yeah, she's giving me the stink eye. That's just how her
Just
face
how her
looks.
face looks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
And
It's
I
the
always
quotability.
remember
Uh-huh.
she had the hamburger phone.
Oh
right?
yeah,
And to
Hamburger
make,
phone.
to make it work, she had to shake it, and her and her friend answered the phone, yo yo yiggity yo, which I thought was so cool when
Yeah.
I watched it, and definitely said it unironically, like trying to be cool, like these girls, because
Glad
they
you can admit it.
Oh, I mean, there's anybody who knew me then will not let me get away with not admitting how much I wanted to be. They were just so effortlessly cool. I'm like,
They were.
oh man,
Unobtainably cool.
how do I
We'll
do
never be
that?
We'll never be
maybe
that
I'll
cool.
start answering my phone with yo yo
Yo,
yiggity
yo,
yo,
yiggity
and
yo.
that'll
Maybe
be what does it.
That'd be awesome.
Spoiler alert, it's
That'd be
not.
awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that now.
It's
Just
actually hard for me to say
Honestly,
even
when people
now.
call me, I just get scared. So
Yeah, no, I don't.
Like, why are you calling me?
Don't call me.
who
Text-
calls people?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
text me. What's going on?
Yeah. So anyway, Juno's
Psychopaths.
number 3 for me. Could have very, very easily been number 1 though.
Yeah, for sure.
We already touched on my number 2s, so now I want to make up another number 2 while you guys go over your number 2s.
She's calling an audible.
I don't know. I just wrote so many things down that I.
Yeah, I get it.
But
That's fine.
we all got our number 3s.
You want me
right?
to do number
Are
2
you
then while
skipping
you
your
think?
number 3, or you want to?
Well, my number 2 was still Easy A, and
that's right,
yeah.
because you had
so
that down.
Mean
Okay.
Girls. I'm just gonna throw out some others in that category just because I don't have anything else. But like, Bring It On was another one.
Oh my
bring
gosh.
it on.
13 going on 30.
Yes.
Pitch Perfect is in that
Yeah.
yeah,
like type of era.
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. God, Bring It On.
Bring it on.
Yeah,
That was a defining one for me.
like you just like
I
those
love
are
that
all
movie.
the
And
same.
I never had any-
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
Yes.
That's a
That's
that's
a quotable-
Easy A, Mean Girls, Bridesmaids.
quotable
They're
movie.
all like that's
Yeah.
my number 2 is that genre.
yeah.
Your number 2 is a genre.
Those are
It's
kinda
a
like-
whole genre.
I made my top 5 right before this because I couldn't
You don't have a thesis.
decide. I
No.
didn't.
You didn't-
We don't.
I can tell you.
We did not get
stuff.
that detailed.
You didn't apply the scientific theory and
No.
process to this
Yeah.
No,
assignment.
thank
you.
Oh well, some of us did.
Some of
I
us
don't have
haven't
a
been out of
thesis.
college that
I don't
long.
have-
So
Touche.
I also want to add Legally Blonde to
Oh,
that
yeah.
honorable mention
Yeah.
category.
Good.
Just while we're at it, and
Yeah.
you can go to your actual number 2s.
Okay, you want to go or you want me to go? Number 2.
doesn't matter.
M.
You can go.
I'll go. This is actually where I finally get into Judd Apatow in the final 2. You
Two
knew it
and
was
one.
coming. You have to admit the other ones feel reminiscent of Judd Apatow.
Sure.
Yes.
Number 2 for me is This Is 40.
Oh,
It is again
love it.
Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann, who is Judd Apatow's wife.
Shut up! I forgot about this. Why does not
So
make my
good.
list at all?
And it
Because you waited till today to make your
I'm
list.
mad.
right, you
I
just
can't.
did your list.
I
Like
know.
we've been working on
40
this for a couple of
45
weeks,
minutes
man.
ago.
I knew I would have spiraled, and I could not.
Well, how do you think I
spiral.
ended up here, Kayla? I had to
couldn't.
organize my thoughts. It
couldn't.
was going to be a tornado otherwise.
I just let him bounce around.
Yeah, no, it
I
would
just have to get a rough outline.
that. You know what's crazy?
That's
This
not
is
a
rough.
outline.
This
That-
is rough.
It's not rough.
Well, others.
But it's still, This Is 40 still falls into the same kind of like Easy A, like
Yes,
it's-
your easy watching chick flicks.
Yeah.
And
Also,
it's-
we get to watch that while Chad was turning 40, so it was fun.
It's a great
It was
movie.
a fun time.
well,
I think it came out closer to when I turned
2000, 2012 is when
Yeah.
it came out.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And
Yeah.
it
Guys
just
in the chair don't have to do any work because M did her research. Girl power.
because M is overly prepared.
Again, another stacked cast.
Oh,
like
it's a-
how could you not?
yeah.
And one of the things that I love about Judd Apatow movies is he consistently puts Leslie Mann in them, and I
Yes.
think she is
She
undeniably
is a Judd,
funny.
I feel like just at
Yeah,
this point, like
she is,
I
and
you
forgot
could have told
Megan
me that
Fox was
she
in
really
it, yeah.
is.
she's so funny. She's so tiny and quick, and
Hilarious.
she's unexpected for what she
Yes.
looks like.
Yeah.
And
I
the
love the
kids in
tone of
that
her
movie
voice.
are their
They're
kids.
kids. Yes.
And that I don't know. There's something that makes that takes it to a whole nother
Real.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's real.
Yeah.
Well, and it feels real, right? Because I think that's part of what defines my top 5 is this like kind of messier look at
Relatability.
at a romantic comedy where maybe the messiness, the vulgarity, the realism is part of what's funny.
Iris Apatow and what's the
Maud
name?
Apatow.
They're
Yeah.
adorable.
They
I
are.
would have thought that Leslie Mann would like she is a Judd. Like I feel like she's
Yes.
in them a lot. Like is she not, or am I just making that up?
She's married to him.
She's married
Oh,
to Judd
she's
Apatow.
married to Judd
Yeah.
So
Apatow.
she is a Judd.
Yeah, so Maud and
She's an
Iris
Apatow.
Apatow are her daughters.
She's a Judd.
Yes.
Now we're on
She's
to the
not the
Judds.
Judds.
She's an Apatow. But anyway, This Is 40 is number 2 for
Where's
me.
Rewind?
That's good.
I could
That's a
talk
good
about
one.
it for an
I
hour
love that
all
movie.
by itself. So
I love that movie. My number 2 is Sweet Home Alabama
Oh yeah.
because it's wonderful, and
Yeah.
I again know it by heart. I can
The
quote
rewatchability is there.
Yeah.
Quotability.
Well,
yeah.
it's a
quote
sweet one.
everything, and it's so like
Pun
Okay,
intended.
Josh Lucas,
Watch out, world.
Josh Lucas,
Yeah.
and Patrick Dempsey. I mean,
Yeah. That's
Reese
a good one.
Witherspoon's adorable. Ethan Embry's in it, and I love him.
I don't think I know who that is.
He's the one that plays oh, what's his character's name? He's the gay one. Not the gay one she works with, but the one from Alabama that she outs.
I've probably only actually, if
my God, you gotta watch
Honesty
it again.
Hour, I've probably only seen Sweet Home Alabama in its entirety 3 times. So I'm being kind of a fake fan
that,
here.
Like it's on TV and you like catch
Yeah.
it in the middle and you feel like you've seen it enough that
Yeah.
you do, but not enough. I don't know.
Like
that-
start to finish.
I finish a movie and
Oh,
I
I
can
love it.
rewatch a movie and I'll be 20 minutes into it and be like, oh, I've already seen this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But I
store
don't
that
ever
in my
turn that
brain.
one off. Yeah, I said that. But what's his character's name? Bobby Ray. That's
Bobby
it.
Ray.
Yeah.
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray.
That's an Alabama
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, it is.
And I
Yeah, it
love
is.
I love her mom in that movie because she's like, "Oh, you look tired.
Bless
Are
your
you
heart.
tired?
Oh,
Maybe it's the
bless
way you're wearing your hair now,
heart.
you know." And it's just so
Yeah,
Southern-
mom.
that feels
Southernness.
relatable. Yeah.
You know, it's
I don't know
like,
why I
oh, okay,
backhanded
thanks.
there.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. So Sweet Home Alabama, definitely. I had a hard time picking my 1 and 2, but
Yeah, that's
it's
a,
up there. It's so good.
that's a strong
If
choice.
you haven't watched it, you need to watch it more.
Not in a long time.
So good,
Yeah.
so good.
Number 2 out of you?
Oh, she did a
Oh,
whole
mine already
category
were.
Yeah, why do I feel confused on where you're at?
because she's
Because
given
what
us like
was-
18
What
movies.
What was your
at this
number 3
point.
and what was number 2?
My number 3 was 27 Dresses.
Oh, yes, okay, yeah.
Number 2,
Was
a
that your
tie.
I think I'm gonna have to do Easy A for number 2.
For number 2.
But I liked Mean Girls on there too.
You got to pick.
Easy A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Don't make me do that.
I know. It's
so, are we to number 1 already?
We're
Because
to number
I-
1.
Yeah.
Are you ready, or do you
struggled
want to go
a
back,
lot.
or do you want to think about it?
Well, number 2 is Easy A, Mean Girls. This is 40, Legally Blonde. You know,
Yeah.
all of those.
This is all of our number
Um,
2s.
There's so many liberties being taken here with Kayla.
I know.
Yeah.
I made the list. I can do whatever I want.
I that's fine.
Number 1, so I went overall chick flick as in like the empowerment piece as
Sure.
well, but also Jimmy won't watch it. Also,
True.
like all men are like, ew, gross. And I
Sure.
had to go Barbie for my number 1.
Well, not all men, because Chad likes it.
I
yeah.
haven't seen it.
He's an Alan. He thinks
He
he's a
is
Ken.
an Alan.
He wants to be Ken.
You are not a
He wants to be
Ken.
Ken so bad, and
You're
he doesn't
not Ken.
Wait,
understand.
I'm
You're an
sorry.
Alan.
Is
I
Chad-
wanted to talk about this on the podcast for so long because they brought up Barbie and I made a comment. I think that was when we were all in
He is
there.
he is
I
an
was
Alan.
like, you know what's funny is he thinks he's a Ken.
I
but
was
he's
going to
an
say,
Alan.
is Chad Weeks advocating that he is Ken?
He thinks he's Ken.
thinks
He
he's
wants
Ken.
to be Ken, but
I
he's
haven't
Alan.
Have you seen the movie?
I haven't seen the movie. I
He's
don't.
an Alan.
I don't
Movie.
need to
Watch the
know that
movie.
Chad Weeks is not Ken.
He's an Alan.
He is an Alan.
He's an Alan.
Alan.
I don't even know who Alan is. I never had an Alan doll. I had a Ken doll. I had a Barbie doll.
Alan is Ken's best friend. He can wear his clothes.
Was there
They
an
all
Alan
fit.
doll?
Yeah, there
They
was.
all fit.
Yeah, just like Skipper, there was Alan.
What? Okay.
Skipper was
we
like
didn't go that
Barbie's
deep. I
sister?
was.
Best friend? I don't know.
I think they were
Sister.
BFFs.
yeah.
Oh,
I
was
don't
it a
know.
sister?
Skipper was her sister.
Her sister. I
Yeah.
think,
Can we
Midge
just
was
say
her
what a
best
great
friend.
name?
You need
I played
to,
a lot
yeah.
of Barbies when I
You
was
need
a
to go
kid.
watch Barbie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I just felt like
It's
I
one of
missed the
those where
curve.
It's my
you
honorable
watch it.
mention list.
You watch, like, you think Barbie, okay? Then you watch it, and it's like there's so many subtle jabs at,
Yeah.
like, you know, this is how society is. Like the daughter in the movie, America, what is her name? Ferrera.
She
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Shout out
Her-
Sisterhood of the Traveling
Yes.
Pants, by the way.
The
Oh,
Yaya.
Just yeah.
Also,
the Yaya
also
I
Sisterhood.
just want to say Yaya, and I don't know why.
Sister of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Sisterhood
Also,
of the
but-
Traveling Pants on my
Honorable mention.
For
There you
sure.
go.
Yeah.
So good.
Blake,
Mad that I didn't put that in
talk
there.
about a stacked cast. America
Oh.
Ferrera, Blake Lively, Alexis Bledel.
Yeah. How did
yeah.
that not
So
come up in my
good.
list?
I did not think of
'Cause
it
you wrote
until
it
you just
today.
said that
We
woman's
talked about
name.
this.
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
I just got so wrapped up. I should have spiraled. I should have,
You
but I
should
couldn't.
have.
I
You
could not.
You have to. You had to. It was
You
an
would
urge you
find
had
me
to give
10
into.
months later spiraling into this stuff.
I was doing this at 1:30 this morning.
That's why I can't.
I couldn't stop.
That's why I had to not even start.
It was only by sheer force of will.
I was gonna let it spiral here.
Again,
Live.
honesty hour. I was doing this actually in my notes app ferociously because I didn't want the thoughts to leave my brain and then to show up here and be like, oh, I had so many good things to say. Why can't I access them? So I was like a maniac in bed, in the dark, on my elbows, ferociously typing away in my notes app. And then this morning I had to spend a couple hours just making it all make sense because some of it was gibberish. But yeah.
So you
I
need
went
to
into
watch
it.
Barbie.
Yes.
You need to watch Barbie.
Everybody
Chad
should
is an
watch
Alan.
it.
He thinks he's a Ken, and he's not.
He's totally
Speaking
an
of
Alan.
stack
No way.
cast, but America Ferrera's daughter in this movie was just like, Barbie thinks she's changed the world. Like, they've made it possible for young women to be astronauts and doctors and veterinarians. And this character in the movie was just like, Barbie has been like an unobtainable goal for all of us.
Sure.
Like,
Right.
you've made it worse.
Yeah.
And absolutely just
Yes.
crushed her on the real world. There's so many, Ken comes to the real world and he's like, this is great. Like,
Yeah.
Kens matter.
Yeah,
don't
I
even
love
know-
the
I don't even know the
patriarchy.
premise. Like,
You need to just watch it.
this is
We'll
kind
give you
of
our login.
this is kind of I have HBO.
Oh,
I've
Helen
seen
Mirren
the
was the
banner.
narrator on that? I
That's
didn't even
who I need.
know
I
that.
asked you the other night who
That's
it was. I was like,
awesome.
that voice is so
And
familiar.
Rhea Perlman played
my God, love.
the creator of Barbie, who
Yes.
I have always been a Barbie girl. Like, I grew up playing Barbies. I love Barbie forever and ever. Like, I just love Barbie. And I
All
grew
the
up with her.
outfits were iconic. They went through all
Yes.
the outfits that we all had.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't have a ton of Barbies. I think I was almost too I missed
Yeah.
kind of the Barbie era. I
Yeah.
had American Girl dolls, which were like
get into Bratz?
Barbies on crack. Yes, Bratz for
Bratz
sure.
dolls.
Polly Pockets, get out
Oh,
of town.
yeah.
oh,
Polly
Polly
Get
Pockets,
out of
they,
town.
they were all, they
But-
transcend.
I mean,
didn't-
it was all
my
similar,
nieces
right?
had Polly Pockets. I did not have
Polly
Polly
Pockets were the little
Yeah. Oh, I
rubber
know what they are.
clothes.
Trust me. Trust me.
Major choking hazard.
Yeah.
Because
I think
why?
Katie had them when she was like 4, and I'm like,
Did you?
That's
Did either of you
exciting.
have them? Did you have Polly Pockets?
Oh, yeah. I used to chew
They-
on
I
a
was-
rubber dress.
Thank you. Thank you. Why is the instinct I want to put this in my mouth?
Because it's a rubber dress. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And then it would
It's
like
chewy.
squeak against your teeth. Yeah, just
Yeah.
sit there and compulsively chew up Polly
hilarious.
When
Pocket
I think
clothes.
of Polly Pockets, like, we all
Embarrassing.
nibbled on her clothes.
Yeah, ew. Okay,
Wow.
we're gonna have
But
I'm learning
Barbie.
a lot about this generation. I did
you
not
need
know
to
that
watch
happened.
Barbie. I have some honorable mentions because I really
Hold on.
went
Let's
to.
do our number ones first before honorable.
No, I'm not
mentions.
going to get into my honorable, but my other honorable mentions are the women empowerment kind.
Same.
So we'll come back
Yeah.
to that. But
Yeah.
that's why I had to put Barbie number one.
For sure.
Okay.
I get it.
I'm
Good
gonna have to
job.
watch it.
Women power.
I think
So good.
I think I have a. So I kind of said this at the top, but there's a little movie snob in me that at this point in my life is, doesn't want to engage in new comedies, new romantic chick flick, whatever.
Okay.
Which is just not true, right? I love all of them. I need to give back into that side of
Yeah.
myself, but I think that is part of my resistance with
but
Barbie.
sometimes it's like the same thing over and over and over again. Barbie is
Especially
different.
It's
now.
way different.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a movie, even an honorable mention, that was made after 2012, which is crazy because I've lived the majority of my life after 2012.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Going
don't.
back to the archives. And
Yeah.
your-
Well, I just don't know that I resonate with some of the more new stuff. Let's keep it simple, stupid. It's
Yes.
been made. It rocks. So
Yep.
I
Yeah.
will give Barbie a shot though.
You should.
Remaking
You should.
Mean Girls. That's why I put that.
Yeah, I don't get
Did you
that.
see it?
I have not, but I heard it's a musical.
Yeah.
It is a musical,
It's an
and
animated-
I
I'd be down
could I
for
could
it.
do a
Yeah.
whole
But we're not
category on
old enough.
musicals.
We're not
Like,
old
if we
enough.
want to do a musical podcast, I'm down because
We might have to
I love musicals.
check out the next takeover.
Uh-oh. I'm going to have
La La
to.
Land coming in
I
hot.
can only name. I couldn't even
Okay,
pick
well,
a top 5.
maybe just me and Kayla. If
I
you
mean,
don't
I
like
can-
musicals.
It's not that I dislike them. I have a couple that.
But I like old musicals.
Yeah, I would. I mean, maybe it would be more of an education thing for me.
There you go.
We'll give you a list ahead of time, and we'll
yeah.
come back and
We'll
take
tell
over.
you
You
to
don't have
watch
to-
some movies.
You guys can pick your top 5, give them to me ahead of
God,
time,
that's
and then I'll
hard.
come
and then
in.
you can re-rank them.
I'll come in and tell
That's
you
an
who's
idea.
right.
Oh,
who's
there
wrong.
you go.
That
That
is
would
an
be
idea.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there we go.
Yeah.
So what's your number one, Emily?
Okay,
What is it? Is
Give
it
it to us.
Apatow?
of course
Has
it
to be.
is. It's the quintessential Apatow. It's the Apatow of all Apatows. It's the one that turned me on to the whole thing. It's Knocked Up.
Yeah.
It's Knocked Up. I think it is quintessential romantic comedy. It's
I don't want you, but
the
like
will
you
they won't
wore
they of
on
it
me.
all,
Yeah.
right? They make Katherine Heigl and Seth Rogen are
Again.
the worst possible
Stack
pairing.
cast.
They make
Yeah.
no
But they're
sense together,
awesome.
but you cannot
I love
help
them.
but root for them. He is such a weird slob, and she's such an uptight woman.
Pristine, put together.
Yeah.
You're
Yes,
right.
and you're just
Yeah.
like,
The
oh God,
package, and
this
he
is.
is
I'm
not it.
anxious for them.
Yes.
And then you get into it, and you're like, okay, but Seth Rogen,
So
what
cute.
a little
Endearing.
pumpkin.
The
Yes,
love is
And-
endearing.
and you can kind of see, you just kind of watch her soften because
Yeah.
she's so hard and rigid.
The
and
opposites attract.
Yeah.
Plays in the whole time.
it ticks all the boxes, and
Yeah.
it is genuinely funny.
Right.
And it is that, for me, that kind of look at things that are
Real.
yes,
Yeah.
severely imperfect.
Sure.
And I think, none of us want to be Seth Rogen and Katherine Heigl. We would all much rather be Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald.
yeah.
In those kind of sweet situations.
Not a force.
But that's not who we are.
Yeah.
I think we are
Life is
probably
messy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are Seth Rogen and Katherine Heigl,
Yeah.
and that plays into some of the undeniability of why that movie is number one for
the
me.
rewatchability is there.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Again, if
Rewatchability.
it's on TV,
Yes.
you're gonna
For
put it
sure.
on. You're gonna
Yeah.
watch it. I'm very mad that I didn't put that. But again, it's in my number 2. I think that's in the same category of like
Yeah.
all these other movies
Yep.
as well. But like, there's more of the real life relatability
Right.
Yeah.
in Knocked Up.
Totally.
Well, and
And also, I
So
will
my-
watch anything with any of them in that.
It's
So
Yeah.
the whole cast is hilarious.
all of them.
oh yeah, you got Jonah
I
Hill
will watch.
and
Well, and
again,
Martin
Paul, it's Paul
Starr.
Rudd and
It's-
Seth Rogen.
Well, and
Anything that
Jason
they're
Segel.
in, and Jason. Any of those 3, I will absolutely watch anything
What?
with them in.
it's where you meet Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann's characters
Yes.
from This Is 40,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
I don't
you
know
get
what
a little
that is.
peek
You're
at
gonna
them.
have to enunciate.
yeah, we cannot read that.
Guy in the chair. Could you please enunciate?
My friend Amanda and I used to watch Knocked Up like constantly. It was that one and Superbad. We watched them all the time.
Yeah.
Super.
I know every
replayed
word
in my
of
DVD
both
player.
of those movies.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, it
Yeah, we
for
used
so
to just
long.
call each other and we'd be like, doorman,
yeah.
doorman, doorman.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
just a doorman, doorman.
So what's the
You're
other?
not
the,
God.
My best friend is it my best friend's girl, or what is the Jason Segel and Paul Rudd? No, my I love you, man.
I love you,
ma'am.
man. So I have. So
I feel
have,
like that should be a chick flick too, but like, is it not? Like, it's a man love
Well,
story, but I
yeah.
love you,
Here's
man.
my-
It also falls into
it's
the
a man.
easy
It's a
A.
man flick.
Well, here's my thing about Judd
Do we need the
Apatow
guys
movies
to come back
is-
and do man flick movies?
There you
Right.
go.
Because
There-
I love you, man. My super ex girlfriend, or
Well,
like Ghost of
Forgetting
Girlfriends
Sarah Marshall.
Past.
Those
yeah.
are like bro chick
maybe
flicks.
maybe we
So-
should have the guys come on and do
well,
bro
and that's
bro
kind
shows.
of-
yeah.
That's
I don't
kind
know
of
if I
why
like
they're
that.
not on my list, because I don't think that they're necessarily chick flicks, because
And they all
No.
fall in that same
because
thing.
Apatow movies are like everybody likes them, you
Well,
know.
they're just so funny. I think that
Yeah.
that
If
was
you don't
definitely
like
the
Apatow
route that I
movies,
went.
then get out of here.
Right. Then
yeah.
you're just wrong.
And heck
You're
is
just
it?
wrong.
I don't know. Their
I
notes
don't
are.
know.
They're trying to communicate.
Okay, so your number one was
Number
Knocked
one
Up.
is Knocked Up, and I think I had to put them in that order: Knocked Up and This Is 40. This is why Juno got knocked to number 3.
I get you.
Because those two movies go together,
But-
right?
So when I moved back to this area, that's the time that I was watching all those movies. So I appreciate your list, because
Yeah.
that's like, my 30s were really, really fun, and I really enjoyed them. And,
you thought there
Judd
would be a
Apatow
gap
was a
there.
big
Yeah.
part of that. So, so my number one is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
I did mention that.
Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
It's
because you
a
got
great
Matthew
movie.
McConaughey and Kate Hudson, and
And it's funny.
so
Kate
cute.
Hudson, my God.
She's
Yeah.
gorgeous. And
It's funny.
what is the name? Her friend,
With the curly hair.
Oh gosh.
the
what is her
redhead.
name?
What? Catherine?
Yeah.
Zeigler. I don't know.
No. Catherine Hahn.
Hahn.
Yes, that was, I think, the first thing I saw her in. And she is just awesome, and I love her so much. And she is hilarious in that movie.
Wait, Catherine Hahn is SNL, right? Was she an SNL cast member? Yeah.
She was on SNL.
I
Yeah.
only think of
She
Catherine
was-
Hahn?
So she was in that like Tina
No.
Fey. Yeah, right?
No, that's Kate McKinnon.
No, she's now, but Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn was on SNL.
Spell Hahn.
H-A-H-N.
Is she Asian?
No.
Yeah. She was an SNL cast
She
member.
was on SNL.
At the same time as like
Oh, that's the actress that's in
Tina
she was
Fey.
on SNL then.
Yeah.
I don't
If
even
it's the
remember
actress
her on
that's
there.
Agatha.
It's her.
That's what
Yeah.
the guy in the chair wrote down for me was Agatha.
Are you calling
Yeah.
him the guy in the chair?
Yes, it's
They're
the
the guys in the chair, yeah.
The guys in the chairs.
Oh, and she's
it
in
was.
Step
She
Brothers.
was the guy that was.
She is
Yeah.
in Step Brothers.
Yeah,
She's
she
in
has
We Are the
in the urinal.
Millers. She's in
Yeah.
what's the Marvel show with
The Agatha. That's what we were talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
She was in
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Yeah, WandaVision. But
She was Agatha.
she's been in so many things
She is
now.
an SNL
Yeah.
cast
She
member.
is.
She is
not,
not-
I don't
she is.
remember
No,
her on
she is.
SNL.
I know she
I
is.
mean, I trust you. I just don't remember her on it.
Well,
She's
and
that girl.
she really is that girl, and I think that's why actually, she fits into this category and all.
Yeah, she's
right?
awesome,
She's
right?
Hilarious.
She's hilarious.
I would watch anything with her in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
And I
totally.
love Kate Hudson, and I love Matthew
Absolutely.
McConaughey. I mean, he is awesome.
Yeah.
He's beautiful, and
Henson
he's-
has always reminded me of Marissa Tharp.
I didn't
Shut
think
up.
she was on SNL. Thank you.
Oh my gosh!
Susie knew she was right.
I'll
She
take
just
my
didn't
licks
wanna
now.
say she
Are
was
we gonna
right.
put that Emily's wrong up?
We need a
what you
big
do with
badge
Chad?
on
Put on the green screen.
big badge on fact check
Yeah.
from behind the camera.
I
I
would have bet
think
my
she-
life that she was on SNL.
Oh, me too.
Robot Chicken. She was in Robot Chicken.
Well, just her voice,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
What,
that
you
doesn't mean
think
she's on SNL.
You think I'm that adept?
Thank you, guy in the chair.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no,
man.
she's been on a lot of stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
I'll watch things
Can't
and I'll be
believe
like,
she's-
oh my god, I didn't even know she was in there, but she's awesome. And
know.
also, I will say, I really like the soundtrack to How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days too. If you haven't listened to it, it's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's totally worthy of a number one spot.
For sure.
I could have easily put it in number one. I felt no pressure to do so because I had a feeling
I knew
somebody else
do
would.
it. Yep. It's
and
on my. I actually.
That's
wrote that
what
one
I'm here
down.
for.
I knew it was. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
written down.
Yeah, it deserves a mention for sure, and certainly
What,
a number one.
okay,
So-
what didn't make the list, guys?
Speaking of Emma Stone, we weren't, but earlier we were.
Yeah, Great
Poor
segue.
Things is a new one.
Yeah, I
haven't seen it yet. I would
It
like
is-
to.
We had the best time in the theater because
Good.
you know when you go into a movie and you know what it is. It's rated R. It's, if you've seen Saltburn,
I have.
the talk about Saltburn and Poor Things was equivalent
Yeah.
because
Yes.
it was in that weird, uncomfortable way. The drain bothers me more than anything. We're
In
not going to go
Saltburn?
into that. Yes, we're not going to go into that.
Did
but,
you see?
But
Yeah, we can't go into
can't.
it. I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, I
sorry.
haven't
Poor
seen that.
Things is uncomfortable, not that bad, but it is so much so you will leave Poor Things talking like her because she's just like your noises coming out of your mouth are annoying me.
I need a premise here, though.
And it's very much
I
women
feel like I
empowerment.
do
She's
that
like,
kind of
I'm
stuff
gonna go do
anyway,
this, and you're not gonna
so.
stop me, and you're not gonna tell me what to do.
I don't know what the premise is. I'm not even. I
seen
know
the-
there's.
flick because it's so women it's so women empowered, but it is Frankenstein-esque.
That's kind
And
of what
that's
I
all
thought.
I will tell you.
Really.
And that's all I will tell you.
What's the conflict?
No
is it a love
spoilers.
story?
The conflict is
It's Mark Ruffalo's in it, right?
Yes, it is William Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo. It is Emma Stone.
What? I'm sorry. What's Punch That Baby?
Oh, I saw that in.
I,
I've seen that in the ads when she goes out. Excuse me, I'm gonna go punch that baby.
it's the thought that everybody has when you're trying to enjoy yourself at a restaurant or you're
Or
on
in
a
the ba-
plane and the
on a
baby's
plane.
crying. You're like, I'm gonna push a baby.
And this is from the movie you're talking about now.
Yes.
Yes, because I can't tell you. There's a big confliction morally because of the Frankenstein part and.
Is it a Frankenstein remake, or you're making a comparison?
No, it is. Just watch it.
Okay, I have wanted
There
to.
is some confliction because of her mental status while going through things.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay, I'm in.
that's the only weird thing. But it's so much so like you can't tell me what to do.
Sure.
So it had to make the list of
That's awesome.
women in like it had that vibe of chick flick. Like I'm gonna just punch you in the mouth and do whatever I want.
Someone punch that
And
baby.
it's set in a time frame that's
I wanted
also
to
like
punch babies.
so old school. It's like Victorian era, but
Oh,
also like
fun.
steampunk, futuristic.
Yeah, love.
So it's
Okay.
like
Mad Max
Like I
meets-
still need a man to take care of me, but also Mad Max Fury. Like I'm gonna just punch you in the face and steal your money. I don't know.
This might be a long shot. Can anybody remember what the John Malkovich movie is? It's John Malkovich and Glenn Close. They're rich. Oh my God! It's
They'll
like
have it in-
that. It's like that meets Mad Max. They're like royals.
I will watch anything with Emma Stone again. Like, Poor Things is one that she is going. You gotta watch it because of her.
She's
And
hilarious.
Mark Ruffalo was in there too.
Dangerous
And he is-
Liaisons.
he
I
played
have
a
not
role.
seen it.
What was it?
Dangerous Liaisons.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh.
I have not seen it.
So it gives me big Cruel Intentions vibes, but
Yes.
it's that kind of same like uncomfortable tone of Saltburn.
Yes.
They're rich.
Add that to our watch list.
Oh,
Man in the Chair.
I'm shocked that Man in the Chair hasn't seen Dangerous Liaisons. You should.
So
Poor
that
Things is
that
of that vibe.
you've seen you guys watch Friends?
but more.
Watch
Yeah.
Friends? Because that's Rachel Green. What she says her favorite movie is, but
Dangerous Liaisons?
her actual favorite movie is Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, love that too.
Little Friends trivia for
She
everybody.
tries to be.
It's when they're playing the game, the
Yes,
trivia game against each other, and they. Anyway, sorry.
But
rabbit
Poor
hole.
Things is newly out. I think a part of the experience was there was two women who were older, and we looked at them and were like, "You're not gonna like this movie."
Right.
It was in the same talk as Saltburn. Like
That same kind
it
of like
is very sexual the whole time. So
sure,
don't watch this with your family. It's rated R.
a little salacious.
They went in and one of the first comments was this is the most crazy twisted movie I've ever seen. And then
Were they
next
100?
comments, the next 5 comments they made were that's disgusting.
Did you feel like it was?
They said it 5 times. No.
Yeah.
And then they finally left.
They
And
left.
They left. And it was us as a couple and then 2 other couples. And we were all literally out loud laughing because they left. One of those that they didn't watch the previews.
So
But
this is a disclaimer for anyone who maybe has delicate sensibilities that
Don't go
what is
see
it?
Poor Things.
Poor things. You should maybe
it is,
leave
but
for
it's
the
not,
youth.
But it's a lot. But on the same note, my other honorable mention, I will watch anything she's in. No Hard Feelings.
Oh my gosh, Amy Schumer.
No.
Damn
I
it.
haven't seen that. Who's in
Darn
that?
it.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, that's the new one. I'm thinking of Trainwreck.
I love Amy Schumer. So
I haven't seen that yet.
It should have been on my list. I'm sad it's not.
Yeah.
But that kind of falls into like the easy watch of like Easy
Totally.
A, Mean Girls, whatever. No Hard Feelings was
Oh.
kind of like the...
It's a Netflix movie,
It's-
right?
I don't want to like
newer,
you.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has J Law in it, but it's the kind of like I'm not supposed to like you, like the she's all that kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him cool,
Yeah.
but like I'm not gonna like him. But
Does
I
she
like
skinny
him.
dip in that movie?
Oh,
I
she
feel
like
like I-
full on fights somebody while nude.
Yeah, okay.
So,
That's how I know
not
what it
to
is.
ruin that for you.
Somebody was talking about that, and that's how I know what it is.
yeah. So again, don't take your family to see this movie, but
It's not family
it is
friendly.
it's not, but it is, but it's not. But it's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't seen
but
it yet either.
it is a chick flick, rom-com type thing where it's like, she has to like pretend to like this guy and then kind of starts to like,
Don't
Yeah.
It's a
don't
good
his
one.
parents like pay her to go out with him or something like that? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. And
Huh.
again, anything with Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah,
my
she's
husband
great.
forces me to watch.
Yes.
Oh, is
I
that-
know
he's a
that
big
he loves
J-Law
J-Law.
fan.
Woman Crush Wednesday.
But those are my honorable mentions. Along the same lines as like Barbie women empowerment,
Yep.
we have to give a shout out to my friend Danielle who said Wonder Woman for those.
Okay.
Oh.
The Marvels was also another one where
Gotcha.
it got very rough reviews, but I think it's because the top 3 leads in the movie are women.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
love the movie.
I've never seen any of the Marvel movies, and I just have to get.
What?
I have to,
Chad will
I have
give
to
you a
get-
list.
I have to get the admission off of
Okay.
my
You have to
chest.
watch them chronologically and
Chad-
not
Chad's
the
gonna
way
give
they
you a
came
list.
out. It makes
He may
more
send
sense.
you home with some movies.
See,
just buckle up.
Here's the dealio. If I'm being frank, there's a part of me that wants to give into the peer pressure of it all, but the majority of me just isn't into it. Drink break.
They're very good. But you lose a lot of time.
Another one that you need to watch is Promising Young Woman, along the same like
Who's in it?
no holds barred type movie, along with like Barbie is that one. I can't remember the lead's name.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The men in the chair are gonna get it for us, but it is a no holds bar woman vengeance.
Yeah.
I'm going on a tear for my friend type thing.
Yeah, I remember actually when this came out. See, you're definitely more well versed in current.
He makes me watch the new movies.
Current things.
That one though is a new current movie that you have to
2020.
watch. Yes,
It looks like it
like
came out.
you need to.
But
Yeah, I
but
feel
that was
like if I lived
another,
with Chad, I'd watch a lot more movies.
Carrie Mulligan. Oh, and Bo
Oh, and
Burnham.
Burnham.
That's
Oh,
what
I
it
like
was. It was
Bo
Bo
Allison
Burnham.
Brie is in it. It looks like.
Yes.
That movie has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is good.
Rotten Tomatoes to get that high.
Yeah,
It's dark,
I like
but
that. Yeah.
aren't
Awesome.
women's life. If we're going chick flick, then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the life of a woman.
Sure.
So that
True,
kinda,
true.
Yeah.
So my number one category was like women take charge, kick butt type
Yep.
thing.
Yeah.
That's Barbie.
Well, and that's where
Poor
I wondered
Things,
where we were gonna get, but it just
know. Yeah.
it was easier to stick with.
Legally Blonde. That could fall into like the easy A, but also that. But
yeah.
I
Agreed.
think Promising Young Woman was up there. Another honorable mention, I'm going rogue, was another like Let's Gang Up and Kill Them is John Tucker Must Die.
Oh,
Great movie.
shut up. Yes.
Great
It's
movie.
so good. Hayden Panettiere, get out of here.
Come
so
at us.
good.
We're going to group up on you.
It's the best. Okay.
So,
Honorable mentions out of you.
I'm just gonna run through them real quick. Again, a lot of rom-coms. My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah, it's
good.
great.
Julia Roberts, Dermot Rooney, so good. Father of the Bride.
Oh, yeah.
Call back to my
Greek
angsty
wedding.
grunge days in high school. Singles. Great movie. Have you guys seen Singles?
No.
probably not. When did the singles come out?
Singles, 1994 or 5.
I was going to say 1982.
I'm not that old. I mean,
You think she
I
was,
was
she was
I was
grunge in the 5th grade?
Yeah, 92. Okay, so I was in
I
high
was
school then.
maybe 2 years old at
Um,
that point.
I wasn't even alive for
You guys
over
suck
10 years.
so bad right now.
Or almost
I was
fif-
90s,
for
so I was
almost
91, I was
15
maybe
years.
2.
You guys suck. If you haven't seen Singles, you should watch it. It's so good. The
Must watch
soundtrack
this.
is amazing. If you like grunge music, and who doesn't, because you should. Alice in Chains and Pearl
Ooh.
Jam.
Oh,
and
man.
it's amazing. The movie,
That's
the
where
music
M
in the
fits in.
movie is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody in the Bridget Fonda's in it.
A stacked cast.
Matt
again.
Dillon.
Oh, gosh.
Kira Sedgwick. Trying to think who else is in that.
Cameron Crowe,
Cameron
Matt
Crowe.
Dillon, Bridget Fonda,
It's-
Campbell Scott. Eddie. Is
Fonda?
Eddie Vedder actually
Eddie
in the
Vedder
movie?
is in it, and Pearl Jam is my favorite
Really?
Is this
band
his
from
acting
the
debut?
90s. So.
We could do
for
a whole pod.
him.
I just thought of
And actually, Stone from Pearl
Chris
Jam's
Cornell?
in it too. Chris Cornell's in it. It's amazing.
Paul
it's
Giamatti.
Yes.
Tim Burton. Whoa.
who's in it or
Burton's in it. Who did
He
play?
plays Brian.
Oh yeah. So
Wow.
it's just a wonderful,
everybody add that
wonderful.
to your list.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody. If you have not seen Singles, it's so good. Very angsty, very
This is why we invited you.
Yeah, love that.
because
Love.
invite the old chick
Everybody
because she
adds
knows what she's
that to
talking
our
about.
list.
And then the rest of my list, so The Holiday and Love Actually, which
Oh, Love Actually.
two of my favorite Christmas movies, but also rom-com. Like I'll watch them all year round.
Yeah.
A Lot Like Love. Guess Who? When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, yeah.
That was
yeah.
one that I knew that somebody
So
else would
good.
have. That's an honorable mention.
Yeah.
so I'm glad.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and Barbie.
Yeah.
So,
Those are good.
yep.
Did we ever say Crazy Stupid Love?
No, but I love
No, I
that
haven't
too.
seen that.
So I'm sorry I didn't mention that anywhere, but Crazy Stupid Love should have. And also Drive Me Crazy. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Drive Me Crazy was one that like I used to watch all the time.
Never
but
seen
like
it.
Crazy Stupid Love should be on the number one. But I think it's just because we were so confused. Like, I wanted my number one to be like empowerment and women take charge, and like I don't like the chick flick label, I guess.
Well,
But, like, we're just dumb, stupid girls.
Well, yeah,
watching
it
our
seems
dumb,
condescending,
silly movies.
right?
It
Like
does.
That's the condescending tone. So I
Yeah.
went, but it's just like, so I have so many more that, should have been in there, but
yeah.
Sure.
I avoided that on purpose, I guess.
Well, that was my initial reaction, right? Like
Right.
Skirt.
yeah, I don't
Exactly.
want to be put into the chick flick box because that,
But
Exactly.
it feels
And I understand that.
patronizing, right?
Yes.
I
Like,
understand
let's let
that,
the girls
but
pick chick
I don't
flicks,
fit in a
but
box.
But
I do love them.
we love them.
Right.
I mean,
I can't sit here and lie to the people
because
and
I
pretend like
honestly
don't
had
have
a
this
lot
list.
of women more empowering movies. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Wildcats. It's from the 80s. Goldie Hawn is a football coach in the Chicago inner city. And it is amazing. It's so good. You guys should watch it.
That's
Wildcats.
a heck of a premise.
So good.
Let's send out a must-watch list after this.
yes,
with
it's-
our honorable
it's so good.
mentions of.
You did not choose this.
Man in the
Chad-
chair is defending
The man in the
himself.
chair would like to know everybody to know that he did not choose the topic.
Well, the point is, we might
I
while
did
we
choose
might have
the
felt
topic,
offended by
actually.
the suggestion initially.
oh
you
no,
have
we're not
to,
offended by
you have
No.
to give in. You have to give
men
in.
in general. Okay, so sorry, we're
Sure.
not directing it at you.
Sure,
Sorry,
sure.
men in the chair.
Plural.
It's the world that puts us in a box.
yeah.
But-
Emily, what are your honorable mentions?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any others that we have not mentioned?
yes.
Out of your 7 pages,
Out of your 7-page
I have
list
the
here.
the 5 that we haven't covered yet.
I have only covered maybe a tenth of what I have written on the subject. We might have to come back for part 2 because I'm just not done. So I have 2 different honorable mention categories. I have an honorable mention category that was qualifiers for top 5. And then I have an honorable mention just because they deserve the love.
Miscellaneous.
Okay.
you
They're
know?
just kind of a
They didn't fit.
miscellaneous. So
Okay.
my
Let's hear
2
it.
honorable mentions that could have easily been top 5 contenders are The 5-Year Engagement, Judd Apatow movie, right? Jason Segel, I think it's Zoe
Forgot
that
movie
one.
existed.
Zoe Deschanel, or the girl that looks just like her.
Is it her sister?
No, there's another girl.
it's
that,
2 different girls, but they're so similar.
who
Emily
looks just
Blunt,
like Zoe.
Oh.
Emily Blunt,
Emily Blunt.
or Zoe Deschanel, one of those 2 dark-haired
Yeah.
women. And then Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting
That's
Sarah
along
Marshall.
the
There we
same
go.
vein.
Oh, how did I
Emily
forget
Emily
Blunt
Blunt
is in The 5-Year Engagement. Her and Jason.
I haven't seen that one.
And Chris
Pratt.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt's in
Yeah,
it?
it's well in the 5-Year Engagement, Jason Segel wears that pink bunny suit from
Yes.
that Christmas
Oh,
movie.
A Christmas Story?
Yes, and that was hard not to put into the top 5. And then, like I said, Forgetting Sarah
I
Marshall.
love Forgetting Sarah
Can't.
Marshall.
Russell Brand.
I hate you that you remember that and I didn't because
What?
it's my category.
Forgetting
of,
Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, and it falls into my number 2 of like Easy A, Mean Girls,
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah.
Well-
Like I could have done 15 of just that.
I know.
You know what I
and
mean?
so those are my
How is
2.
that a
You
rom
kind
com?
of
Everybody
did,
loves
though,
that,
like-
but what's a chick flick? You know?
Well,
I don't
here,
know.
I'm about
That's
to
the-
kind
That's
of
where we're
why
at.
it's hard.
Circles.
So
Yeah.
my next list of honorable mentions are more chick flicky, right? This
Okay.
category I called John Hughes-esque as opposed to
Okay.
Judd Apatow-esque. Okay.
Different era.
The point here is everything that John Hughes ever made. Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, all of that.
The 80s.
All of that, right? It deserves to be mentioned. John Hughes walked so that Judd Apatow could run.
Exactly.
Something has to be said about it. And then there's kind of things that are similar. When Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail, Pretty Woman, Say Anything, St.
Like,
Elmo's
there's different
Fire.
categories.
Say anything,
They're
yes.
just these kind of like
Elmo's Fire.
St. Elmo's Fire
How?
is one of my favorite casts of all time. And yeah.
I'm mad at myself.
My sister Tara used to watch that every weekend.
Okay. So I have a final honorable mentions category
Okay.
because it just couldn't be simple
Too many.
with me.
Too many.
I need the categories.
Okay.
My last honorable mention category is a more drama leaning category.
Okay.
Because the dramedy to me is kind of part of this.
Sure.
And I think once I say what they are, it'll make a little bit more sense. My big 3 in this honorable mentions category are Silver Linings Playbook,
Okay.
which I found to be comedic. I also found it to be dramatic, and the love story is wonderful.
yes.
Walk the Line.
Oh,
Another one. Another
love it.
kind of
Didn't even think of it.
love
Walk the
drama. You know, it checks a lot, and then that's where the music comes into play.
Oh,
yeah,
right?
for
yes.
sure, for sure.
The score. Yep.
Duh. A Star Is Born. Again, same
How did we
vein.
not put that on my list?
Same vein.
Because
Next to the guy in
I
the
wasn't
chair.
going for dramas.
I
I was
didn't-
going for comedies.
That's
but
what you
yes.
too,
think
yeah.
of when you think of chick flick, but that's such
Yeah,
a chick flick.
it is.
Yeah,
a chick
I
flick.
had
It's
to
so
go.
good.
I had to go the comedy route because it's where my heart is
Yeah.
for
Yes.
this
Agreed.
genre
Agreed.
overall. But I cannot.
deeper.
I can't skip this kind of
Yes.
drama category. Those are my
Sure.
big three there.
Yeah,
In terms of dramas that are
totally agree.
undeniable is my word of the pod. Undeniable.
Yes.
Those three are.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Do we want to recap? We want to
Yeah.
do a little.
I had a couple more.
Okay.
So we talked about movies based on books. So I have to give a shout out to Bridget Jones's Diary.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then also P.S. I Love You.
Yep.
I don't
Okay.
think I
Oh.
mentioned that earlier.
Sad.
P.S. I Love You. I know.
You,
Put
you're
that.
kind of a.
I know.
a
So I
glutton for
you have to have a
punishment.
dark category. So Me Before You,
Yeah.
Notebook, P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mailbox one. What's that?
Yes.
What is that?
Lake House.
The one where like they write
Sandra
the notes
Bullock,
and they're in
isn't it?
different time frames.
But he's
or
dead,
whatever.
right?
Is
He's
it
dead.
Is it Keanu Reeves? No, that's
We're
not.
doing two
Yeah.
different movies that are the same thing. I think
Yeah.
we're on
They're-
two
they're
different
similar.
movies.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
there's that movie where the one like the
I think it's
yeah.
the Lake House.
I haven't
Lake,
seen
the Lake,
The Lake
House,
House, yeah.
and
Yeah.
You've Got Mail. We're mixing the two
Yes.
movies. I think that's what
You've
it
got
is.
mail.
But that was my number 5 category.
Yeah.
Was like
well,
the Me
Sleepless
Before
in
You.
Seattle. Did we say that one?
Notebook.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah,
So
that
good.
we should have done 5 different categories, but
Yes.
those were 2 that I didn't call out. Where it's like P.S. I Love You, but Bridget Jones's Diary was like that relatable.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
all in our sweatpants writing our diary.
Totally.
like the guy didn't call me back.
It's that same kind of like
Meh.
John Tucker Must Die
Yes.
vibe, right?
yes, that's all.
And
all
Colin
of us
Firth
against
is in it, and
them.
he's beautiful, and I
The John
love
Tucker
Colin
Must Die
Firth.
is like let's all like
Yeah.
Kill
we're
people.
all women
Yeah.
scorned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go after him.
Hell hath no fury
Yes.
like a woman scorned.
yes.
right.
Yeah. That's the name of the
You
category.
don't think we're gonna team up against each other, like with each other against you, but we will.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
for sure.
we for sure will. You should be
watch the
scared.
movies.
You
You've been
should
warned.
be scared. If you haven't
Should be
watched
terrified.
that, try it.
Okay,
Anyways.
so
Do you have any?
recaps.
Oh yeah, recaps.
The only one I
So-
didn't mention, I think that I would be Grease 2 because
Oh, Grease.
Grease in
no,
general.
Grease 2.
Numero dos.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if I
Why?
like that one as much.
Well, you should.
Why over one?
Because it's wonderful.
Because
Yeah,
Because
I don't think I've never seen
because
it.
Stephanie Zanoni is the coolest character in all of Grease.
In all,
so,
okay.
because
I'll-
it's Michelle Pfeiffer and she's fantastic.
I never saw it.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
watch it.
Okay.
It's pretty campy but wonderful. And
I'm into
I can
that.
sing every song in that movie.
I'm into
So
that.
anywho, do we want to recap, girls? Who wants to
think
go
so.
first?
Through. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
backwards.
rattle
so
them off.
5. So my number 5 was the category of Me Before You, The Notebook, that type of P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
I cheated.
You like the sad ones.
You super
The sad
cheated.
ones last though. Okay.
Yeah.
So out of all the categories of chick flicks, I put the sappy, lovey, sad ones last.
yeah, you like to hurt yourself.
Yes, last.
Yeah.
Number 5 for Susie was
Number 5 was The Proposal for me.
For me, it was Easy A. Easy A was number 5.
4.
my number
Kayla?
4 was Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
Was a Cruel Intentions all the way.
Yep.
But that could also be like
get it.
its own genre. So
Totally,
again,
for
I think
sure.
we could have split this up into 5 different categories
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
top out of
5 different
those.
podcasts.
Maybe we'll
probably.
do round
Yeah.
2.
Number 4 for me was 10 Things I Hate About You.
4
Yeah.
for me was Wanderlust.
I love that movie so
know.
much. I'm
I'm gonna
so
go home and
mad. I
watch
want to
it.
go watch it now.
I'll have to watch
I want to
it.
say the line so badly. I feel because I can't say it, it's making me.
Why-
It's gonna come out in a like a tick or something. But I'll wait till the camera. I'll wait till the
Whenever you look at
camera.
yourself in the mirror. If you don't think this, you've not seen that movie.
If you know, you know. Go get. Yeah. Number
Anyways,
3.
Number 3. I love it. 27 Dresses.
Yeah.
I
Catherine
do love that
Heigl,
movie.
Agreed.
I do.
27 Dresses.
Number 3 for me was He's Just Not That Into You.
Classic.
So good.
I put Juno at number 3.
Love
Love
Juno.
Could have been number 1, but I had to keep my
Shoulda, coulda.
my big
Yes.
appetizers together.
Same,
So.
same.
Also, so that rolls into my number 2, which was also I turned into a category of Easy A, Mean Girls, This Is 40, and I'm gonna put Juno in there
Yeah.
of that same category. And there's my top 5 of number 2.
My number 2 was Sweet Home Alabama.
Yep.
Sweet
My
Home
Alabama.
my number 2 was finally a legitimate Judd Apatow movie, and it was This Is 40. No questions asked.
So good.
That's such a good movie. I had to go the ultimate women empowerment. We should rule the world, and how have we not this far? Barbie, thus far. Thank you. Corrected myself.
My number 1 was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah,
So good.
that deserves a number 1.
It's so
spot
good.
somewhere. Number 1 for me is Knocked Up. That's it. That is the king, the queen, the ultimate
Agreed.
rom-com.
I'm mad that my list wasn't your list because I love Knocked Up. I'm sad that I didn't even
love
put that
Knocked Up.
anywhere.
This
I
is
love it's
what
One
Seth
of my
Rogen.
favorite movies of all
This
time.
is what a 1:30 a.m. rabbit hole manic spiral about
I should've
rom-coms
spiraled,
looks
Em.
like.
I should have.
You should give into it next time. It does
Yeah.
eventually lead to
So-
a
It's
beautiful
a little
place.
cathartic.
Should
It
we
is.
schedule round 2 takeover?
Yeah, for sure.
We should do a full spiral.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
have to give in.
Let's let the guys
Let go
pick
and
the
let God.
category, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll be back.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe if you're
Let
lucky.
us know. Let us know if you
All right,
You wanna see us.
guys. The lights are dimming.
The lights are dimming.
The curtains are closing.
It's time. It's closing time. I want to thank the gentlemen for
Yes.
having us, for giving the ladies our moment.
Yes.
I think we probably deserve more than one moment. But thank
Agreed.
you. And
We may be
Agreed.
back.
Yeah, we'll
Um,
be back. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, Clint and Chad. You guys are great. And
that's
that's the
the
end
end
of the
of the
show.
show.
That's it.